let's get started then. Well, first of all, hello, and thank you so much for taking the time, and of course, a happy new year. How are you doing?
Happy New Year and thank you for having me. Doing very well. And you?
I'm doing fine as well. Perpetual Chaos is coming out in some weeks. How are you feeling about the upcoming release?
Really, really hyped about it. I'm starting to count the days now that it's coming closer, the release date. And yes, I'm really proud of this album, and I'm dying to see the response of the fans. Yeah, I'm really hyped.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit first how you came to be the new drummer
Drummer
of
of
Nervosa.
Nervosa. To my understanding, Rika invited you for an audition, but do you know how she found out about you? And did you have to do an audition where you play songs? And do you know why she chose you in the end and such?
Yes, actually, Prika told me the story. Of course, the two previous members, Fernanda and Luana, left the band, and she had to find new members. And she did an online research to look for female musicians. And she told me she was one of my drum covers in an Instagram page, and she really liked it. So she sent me an email asking me if I'm interested to audition for Nervosa. Of course, I was extremely happy about it, and I said yes. And because it happened during the quarantine in March, we couldn't meet in person to do the audition, and we did it via Skype. Yeah, I played some old songs, and also we spoke a lot. It was kind of a mini interview because she really wanted to get to know my personality, to see if we match, because in a band the personalities have to match in a way. Um, and after that, the next day she announced to me that I'm the new drummer of Nervosa. She didn't define exactly the reason, but she said that she loved everything about what I do. Yes, that's the story.
Now, in the announcement of the post, it said that you have been mostly involved with progressive metal bands. How was
Yes.
it for you to change to thrash metal?
Actually, in the past, I've played with a lot of different bands, and not only progressive, also metalcore, new metal, deathcore, power metal. So, it's not that I have this huge progressive background. I just happen to become a member of a band or work as a session drummer. So I kind of get used to the techniques and the vibe of uh, this music genre. So when she asked me to join Nervosa, I actually told her that I've never played thrash before. Of course, I listen to thrash, but I've never played thrash before. And she was like, "Okay, I've seen you're playing. You've got this. You will learn it." So yeah, it took about a month of intense practicing to get used to the techniques and the speeds, and after that, I was pretty okay. Yes.
So overall, how has the experience for you been so far with the band and, doing this whole process for the first time?
The experience is really beautiful because I've never done something this important in my life before. Getting to become a drummer of a big metal band that also happens to be, female, just female members. It's really beautiful to be part of this team. I got to meet the girls for the first time in person during our album recordings in Spain, and we just instantly clicked. We had this awesome chemistry. We became great friends, almost like a family. So it's just overwhelming musically and also, mentally. This whole thing is beautiful, and yeah, I can't wait to go on tour with the girls because it will be also a new experience.
Now you mentioned that it's also new for you to play in an all-female band. Is the chemistry that different when you play with only guys as to opposed to when you play with only girls?
Yes, not that much, at least in my opinion. Of course, for everyone it's different. Because in the past I've mostly played with guys, and I just got really used to hanging out with guys all the time, and it seemed natural to me. So it wasn't like I was feeling uncomfortable, and when I joined Nervosa, it suddenly felt comfortable because they're women. I think you just need to get along with the people, not as a gender. And it's about their personality. Either you click with them or you don't. And thankfully, with Nervosa, as personalities, we clicked perfectly.
Oh, that's great. So the previous album, Downfall of Mankind, it dates from 2018. So that's been a while. So I was wondering, did Prika already have songs ready when you guys joined the band, or did you guys start from scratch for this album?
Actually, Prika started composing the new album, I think, in June, no, May 2020. So it was just 3 months before we headed to Spain, and she practically composed an entire album in 3 months. Of course, the songs weren't 100% finished. It was just mostly basic structures to have guidelines about what we want to do. And after that, we headed to the studio. Our producer, Martin Furia, helped us a lot to experiment and bring our own style on the table. And so the final result is a mixture of Prika's compositions that she did by herself and our experimentations during the recordings.
Okay. Well, I'm also curious to see what it will bring in the future when you actually have the chance to ride together as a band, you know. But I had a lot of fun actually listening to Perpetual Chaos because even though, of course, it's the same style, you can hear it's a little bit different, and that's, I guess, natural when you change a lineup. But how do you think the new album differs from the previous material of Nervosa?
Uh, I think that the main difference is that, of course, there are new members, and these new members brought different influences. So in Perpetual Chaos, you hear a blend of the typical thrash metal with a lot of death metal, black metal, groovier kind of metal, with also more rock influences like old rock bands. We also had Motorhead influences. So it's just a matter of the new members bringing their own music taste on the table. Yeah, I think the Nervosa was mostly thrash metal in the previous albums, and now we became kind of a metal in general band.
Yeah. I also watched the first two episodes of your studio documentary because that was the only ones out there. And in there you said it's the first time you all met. Do you feel like it was a risk for you to accept this job without having met anyone in real life first and not knowing whether you would kind of hit it off in real life?
Actually, I wasn't really scared, but of course, in the back of your head, you're like, what I'm about to do. Like, I'm going inside of a plane and I will land in a different country during a pandemic with people I've never met in my life before. But I was pretty relaxed about it because before that, I spoke a lot with the girls on WhatsApp, and we did many video calls, so I got to know a bit about their personalities, and we really got along. But for sure, if you're going to be basically roommates for an entire month, it's a completely different thing. So I was a bit, uh, you know, uh, scared, not scared, a bit anxious. But when I landed in Malaga and I met Prika, I said like, "Woof, it's going to be okay." I saw her face, and her expression was so calm, and that everything would be okay.
So once you were there, what was the process like for you guys?
I was the first to go to Malaga after Prika. So in the beginning it was Prika, me, and Martin, our producer. And it was like this for a week. During this week, I recorded all the drums. After that, Mia Wallace arrived and she recorded her bass. And after that, Diva Satanica came. So we were like, one after the other. And Diva recorded her vocals. After that, no, we listened to pretty much everything. We did some corrections. So we were saying our opinions. We also shot our video clip and did a photo shoot. We made some playthroughs. So yeah, it was a lot of intense work for a month.
Do you think this kind of intense work, 1 month, do you think like the album is that as good as it is because of that 1 month that you were together and having this intense moments? Or like, would you have done it differently if there was not a pandemic, for instance?
Probably yes. If there was not a pandemic, we probably would have rehearsed as a band. And this is what we're going to do for the next album. But due to the pandemic thing, we just head to the studio and record it separately. But I think because we didn't know each other, it was kind of a blessing. Because everyone just went into a room alone. We did the thing we know how to do best. And also, yeah, the factor of the intense work is the most important because we didn't get lazy even for 1 minute. We were all working day and night, crazy hours every day. So yeah, the result is pretty awesome because of the good chemistry and the crazy work.
You also work together with the producer Martin Furia. For you, it was the first time, I guess. But of
Yes.
course, the band in general has worked with him. But it looked like you had a lot of fun, at least in the videos. How was the collaboration with him, and what do you think of the end result?
Actually, Martin, I love Martin big way because for me it was the first time doing such a serious drum recording and was a bit freaked out. And Martin just relaxed me so much from the beginning. Um, Also, he brought out the best version of myself. He was so encouraging. He never judged me, even when I was making mistakes. He was like, "Okay, we'll just do it again. Who cares?" And because of that relaxation I was feeling, I was just playing naturally all the time without overthinking. He also, when I was really tired, he was helping me to bring out my ideas when my mind was blocked. And yeah, thanks to Martin, I actually outdid myself during that album. Sometimes I even surprised myself. Yes.
Can you give an example? Like, it seems like he really pushed you to your limits, kind of. But I'm not sure if that's the case, of course.
Yes, first of all, about the ideas, we pushed ourselves to crazy limits to get new ideas because there were times that we would be in the studio 6 hours non-stop, and we wouldn't stop until we figured out even the tiniest detail. We were figuring out feels and just small accents for 30 minutes straight. We were diving into such small details that are actually huge if you think about it, these details in the end result. And also, because I was feeling so comfortable and I wasn't afraid to try out things, I pushed myself to speeds I never achieved before. So I played like 40 or 50 BPMs faster at some point than I normally do, and I didn't know I could do that. And this is thanks to Martin.
Now, Nervosa's lyrics are usually political. I'm not sure how much you were involved with writing the lyrics, but what are some of the topics that you guys discuss in this album?
I wasn't involved in the lyrics at all. It was the job was between Prika and Diva. But the general concept of the lyrics is the ugly side of human nature, and like betrayal, backstabbing, and yeah, actually the evil side of a human. And also, yeah, some are more about the general politics, and even some are about. We even have a song that's about rebellion and partying and wildlife. You will listen to it in a few weeks.
Now, you released a couple of singles already. What have the reactions been so far, and how have people received the new lineup?
So the reaction of the people was overwhelming because 95% was extremely positive. Even when we released our first single, Guided by Evil, the response was immediate and people loved it. I was reading the comments that day and I was so amazed by the love of our fans. And the same happened with our second single, Perpetual Chaos. And even though we are a new lineup and we were expecting a bit of hate criticism, we didn't receive any at all. Fans loved us, and I really thank them for that. Thank you all for this.
Do you read all the comments?
As much as I can, there are a lot. And also, most of them are in Portuguese and Spanish, and I don't speak either of these languages because I'm from Greece, and so I have to put them in Google Translate to understand what they're saying, and it takes some time. So I cannot read everything, but I try to read as much as I can to have a clear picture of the fan perspective.
Well, yeah, you mentioned also that you're from Greece and the other girls there, you're all from different countries basically, but does that present any challenges for you, especially during this whole pandemic situation?
Not that many. For sure, less than expected. Because during this pandemic, no one can do rehearsals, even people that live in the same area. So it's hard for everyone, not just for us. And the good thing is that we all live in countries that are nearby. We are from neighbor countries. I'm from Greece, Mia Wallace is from Italy, Dio Astanica is from Spain, and Prika actually spends a lot of time of the year in Italy, so she's nearby too. And for us, it's like a 2-hour flight from each other, so it's not that kind of that big of a deal.
Well, no, usually I would ask you about touring and such like that, but of course we don't really know what's gonna happen now. But like lately, live streams have been a very popular thing. Is that something you guys are also taking under consideration?
We don't have a certain plan for it, but we discussed it a bit. Mainly it's up to Prika, and I think we're just waiting to see if some live shows are going to happen in the summer, and if they're not, maybe we will do something like this just to give some pleasure to the fans.
Do you have any other things in store for fans if touring is not going to be a thing? Is that things you already discuss ahead of time, or?
Yes, we have some treats for the fans. Now with the album, we have a lot of content to be released. More playthroughs, video clips, lyric videos, the third and the fourth parts of the documentary. And after this, yeah, we have a few more ideas in the table, but I cannot announce them yet. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do for the fans.
You guys, did you this content that you have, like obviously the studio documentary you did when you were in the studio, but all the other playthroughs and stuff like that, did you all do that while you were in Malaga, or?
No, some of them, yes, but we haven't released any of these yet. Most of them we are doing it in our own studios and our own countries. I released a playthrough for Perpetual Chaos that I recorded in a studio in Athens, and Diva did the same. She recorded a vocal playthrough at her home. So yeah.
Okay. The music video you guys did do together, do you have any fun stories about that music video shooting day that you want to share?
Oh yes. First of all, we began shooting late at night at 11 at night because we wanted to be total darkness and it was summer. So, night begins pretty late during the summer. And the performance part, where the band plays, went pretty smoothly because, yeah, it's just performance. But for the concept part, where there's a ritual and the blood, we did that after the performance shooting. So we started at like 3 in the morning, and we had to climb down, to go down this cliff that it was a bit dangerous, and especially me and Mia Wallace, the both of us, we are very small, and we couldn't just with our short legs go down this thing. And Prika, practically because she's really big, she grabbed us from the waist and she pulled us, and she actually took us down the cliff. And yeah, we then were covered in fake blood, throwing blood at each other. It was really dark. We were afraid that there would be some snakes, and because it was a lot of plants. It was like a forest. So yeah, and we finished the shooting at 6 a.m. in the morning. So it was a big day.
Yeah, yeah, you don't really see those things if you look at the video, of course, because it's only a couple of minutes, but it took
you
a
see
long.
The serious result, not the fun part.
Yeah. Anyhow, I think that's it for my questions. And anyhow, our time is also almost up. So do you have any last thoughts you want to share with people watching this?
First of all, thanks to Tuonela magazine. Did I say it correctly? Tuonela.
Yeah, somewhat.
Thanks to Tuonela magazine for having me. It was a total pleasure. And yeah, I want to thank everyone and all our fans for the support and the love that they're showing us. Thank you everyone so much. I really can't wait to meet all of you in person during our live shows when they happen. And please stay safe and healthy. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And yeah, this thing will be over soon and we'll be together.